let's get back started. This next one is Daria's. I think everybody here probably knows Daria. She's the person who started the first biohacking space in Ukraine, and obviously she can't hear. Turn it all the way back up. All right. Okay. How's that sound? Any better? Okay. Everybody hear me in the back? Okay. So the next person up is Daria. I think everybody here probably knows Daria. She made the first biohacking lab in Ukraine. And obviously, stuff's happening in Ukraine. But I'll give it to Daria.
Hi, good to see you all. It's been a while since I've been at the last Biohack the Planet conference in 2019. Let's kind of get a rewind of what happened then. So how it started. Wait, that's the wrong way. So I started biohacking in 2018. I was in the first year of university. I was 17 years old in Dnipro, Ukraine. I knew nothing about biology and biotech, but you have this very selfish but also altruistic desire to change the world, to make the world a better place. And you're like, oh, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. Why is no one doing it? I'll be the one who will do that. So I really wanted to learn genetic engineering and biotechnology. And I have a degree in biotechnology and bioengineering from Dnipro National University. God, no one had the pleasure to study there. And so pretty much there was no funding. There was nothing that could actually be done, hands-on science. So I come to the university. I'm like, hey, I know nothing, but I'm so passionate. I want to learn. I want to change the world. Professors are like, yeah, cool. Nice. Here's a book from 1989 made in the USSR about genetic engineering. I'm like, wow, that is so helpful. Do you know what CRISPR is? You know what's the funniest thing? Out of 10 professors, I asked what a CRISPR is in 2018. Only 2 knew what CRISPR is in biotech. So I decided to start doing biohacking. And this is my first lab. This is my brother's bedroom in my parents' house back in Dnipro in 2018. That's how I started biohacking. I just started gathering things. I learned about the Odin. I was like, oh, I'll just learn from kids. That's how I started. I have all my knowledge, not from university, but from stuff like the Odin kits and something I would try to do in my home lab. And then I was like, well, there probably is a DIY bio lab in Ukraine. Like, I should join them. There was none. So I was like, well, I'll make one. I'll find a team, and we'll do something cool. So then, you can look at all this crap. Like, oh my God, embarrassing. But I was like, oh, I'm doing science. I'm doing CRISPR kits. I'm a scientist now. But yeah, I had no money. I had my scholarship in university, which was about $45 US a month. And I would spend most of it on buying cheap stuff off Ukrainian Craigslist and trying to make equipment out of it. And this is a new lab that we moved in. This is like a third place we've rented. We moved into this place in November of 2021 when I just got back to Ukraine from working here at the Odin in Austin. So it was a new start for me. I was like, yeah, I have a team. We've been doing workshops in Ukraine. We already done the DIY coronavirus vaccine with the CDC by then. I was like, oh, this is a brand new start. Like, we're going to be doing so much. I wanted to start a biohacking company. Actually, I registered a business on February 18, 2022, 6 days before a full-scale invasion happened. So look at me, such a professional posing for for a local media. I'm working on my posture. It's better now. We've been doing workshops all over Ukraine. We've been collaborating with so many beautiful people, makers, artists, and think about biohacking. Like, it was super novel. No one done it before, but it picked up momentum. People were so excited for it, so hungry for it. Because people in Ukraine, they don't have as much as you do here. And if you just give people an opportunity to express themselves, to learn something, they'll grab onto it. So people in Ukraine really love biohacking, and been doing workshops teaching people how to genetically modify bacteria. It was a particularly amazing workshop because we had an 8-year-old come in, and she modified her E. coli. She was 8 years old, and she actually had a successful transformation. She was only 8, and there's so many different people. There's also a chapter of Central Dogma Collective, obviously, with Joe Zahner and David Ishii, kind of the nomads of biohacking, the Kraftwerk of biohacking. We did a DIY coronavirus vaccine, which is pretty epic because Walter Isaacson's wrote about it. And I really like this because I could rub it in the faces of my university professors that bullied me pretty much. Almost got kicked out of university for what I have been doing. That was a cool moment. This is pretty recent. I think this is this summer. We've been working on extracting our stem cells. I look happy here, but I'm not. I'm terrified. I had to stick myself with a needle. And I told Joe, I hate needles. Then we do a DIY coronavirus vaccine where you have to stab yourself with a needle to tell this vaccine. And then stem cell project where you have to use, 16 gauge needle? Just like this thick. Stick it in your fat, wiggle it around, and collect stem cells and do it yourself. Well, obviously we used lidocaine. But yeah, actually, we were filming that for documentary too, and I started fainting, so that's a good footage. Some of the cells and how it's going. So I had these massive plans for what I'm gonna do with biohacking. I was gonna start a company. I was gonna start different labs in Ukraine, because that is my dream, to have a DIY biolab in every major city, to help kids learn, to help adults learn. Because as soon as you implement something in Ukraine, it picks up momentum like crazy. Because, well, people need that. People want that. They just don't have an opportunity. And, well, how do I start the video? It says request access. Let's fix that.
Is it on a Google Drive?
Yeah, I think so.
Will you be able to give me permission?
Oh, right there. Sorry. It's gonna be like it was gonna be like a super epic moment, like very dramatic as well, because like it had to be a super amazing transition, but not so much.
So you want to give Josiah gmail.com.
Okay.
Use to build suspension.
Yeah. Just not think. I don't have to think what's gonna be next.
Looks like it's on YouTube. You have the link.
It's not YouTube. It's Google Drive. Nice. You work in computer science? It's just sound. There's no sound.
Well,
You know what? Let me just play this from my phone. I recorded this on February 24, 2022, the day I woke up from explosions in my home city of Dnipro. And this is an air siren, which means that there's a rocket flying into where you are. And that was a moment, this air siren is a moment where, well, I died. Everything that I was before, it wasn't relevant. It's like, who am I even? Like, why does this even matter? Biohacking, CRISPR, DIY biolab. How is this relevant when there's rockets flying in your hometown, people dying, there's tanks? And then I turned on the live stream. It was 6 a.m. Just woke up. I was gonna do another workshop in Dnipro, which obviously got canceled. And I see a live stream of Russian tanks crossing the border and going straight to Kiev. For the reference, Russians have a list of people they would have to get rid of first. This is official info. You can actually Google it and even look through the people that are on it. My whole family is in there. Me, my parents, my brothers, my grandma, my other grandma, my cousins. Because we're Ukrainian, because we love Ukraine. Oh, and obviously, you heard Russian propaganda. Biolabs making GMO birds to kill Russian ethnics. That is actually what they wrote. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I was scared. I was really scared. But it's good to realize your own mortality. I fled the country in the next 2 weeks. I had to leave Dnipro. I moved to Germany, lived 4 months in Germany, lived in Canada now for the past 6 months, been living in beautiful British Columbia. Haven't been doing much biohacking, gotta say, because in a world like this, I honestly lost my place. I thought I had a place. I thought I was like, well, I was gonna change the world for better. Well, isn't this what we all want? Isn't this what we all talk about all the time? Change the world for better. Well, I was like, how can you do that? I'm so irrelevant. And it was a cathartic moment for me because I was lost. I had no idea what to do with my life, with my lab. And let's see how it's going now, right? This is that video. See this picture? Do you see this building? Also, I'm sorry, this is like a super depressive talk. Like, this sucks. This is so sad. Oh my god, Daria, we just had tacos. We just drink beer. Why are you talking about war? Like, sorry, this is not cool. Why? See this building? It's not supposed to look like that. I'm not an architect, I'm not into civil engineering, but something's wrong with this. This building, you know how far is it from my lab? So this is a building that got hit right here. My lab would be where that blue wall is, across the road. Actually got hit 2 times. You know what's the funny thing? After I got hit first time, I'm like, well, thank God, like we survived, but at least it's not gonna hit second time. A week later, it did. Thankfully, our lab survived. We almost didn't have any damage. Our windows got like shut open, which, if you know European windows, they like close like a door, really solid. Got scared, got some, plaster off the roof. This is just a reminder that this is happening right now. This is a little reality check. I'm sorry if I'll make some of you feel bad or is it guilt tripping, but this is just how I feel. I've been living in this reality for more than a year. I'm not in Ukraine right now. Like, I am safe. The thing about war, you can leave war, but war never leaves you. It will always carry it with you. Remember the thunderstorm yesterday? I used to love thunderstorms. I used to love the sound of thunder. Used to. Before February 24th, 2022. Actually, I haven't gotten flashbacks in a while. For some reason, they don't have thunderstorms in BC. So this was the first in a few months. Yeah, that didn't feel good. So I love to talk about change the world too. And then I felt helpless. And we talk, we talk, we talk, we talk, we talk, we talk. How much do we actually do? How much do we actually do, especially when we have an opportunity? We have strength, we have ability to actually make a change. Why do we have an opportunity to change something? We close our eyes, we switch our focus. Why? I mean, it's comfortable, right? It's comfortable not to look at that or like, oh, I'm so tired of the news. Like, I can't even look at Twitter anymore. Sorry, this is our reality for the past year. We'll live like this all the time, 24/7. You dream about it, you wake up. First thing I do when I wake up, I go to a messenger app and I just check that my friends are alive and pray. That my lab wasn't hit another time. All my dreams got destroyed. All the positive change I wanted to do evaporated. So I've been pretty depressed for the past year. It was really tough. I lived in Canada for the 6 months. I didn't really do any biohacking. Dude, you're really helping with my PTSD right now. And I couldn't do biohacking anymore. Like, you know how you can have writer's block? That's kind of what I had with biohacking. Because how? Like, with all the news I see, what am I gonna do? So I couldn't do that anymore. I felt actually sick of biohacking. Devoted 5 years of my life to biohacking. I did so much, spent so much time. And actually, for the past 4 months, I worked as a metal worker in BC because I just couldn't deal with this new reality. So I was like, I need to switch my perspective. So yeah, now I know how to, do welding too. It's a pretty cool skill. So what I want to say is maybe let's switch our focus. Some things are obvious right in front of our nose, but we choose not to interact, not to engage. But we love to talk about change. Well, maybe let's implement our knowledge, our passions. Here you have a perfect playground to do that. Look at Ukraine. Look at how many things you can change right now. Agriculture. Ukraine is one of the biggest importer of grain, sunflower. So many things. We're an agricultural country. Ukraine is called the breadbasket of Europe for a reason. It's hard to do agriculture when your fields are exhausted. They are mined too. Let's implement GMO. We can do so much with it. Let's look. Rejuvenating nature. 30% of Ukrainian land is now mined, which means it's dangerous. Yep, it's mined. Also, the nature is literally getting destroyed. Cities are getting wiped out, non-existent. Here's a project you can do. Are you into environmental studies? This is a perfect playground for you to test it. Why? Because we need it, and we want it, and we ask for it. Genetic engineering stem cells for therapy. I love using genetic engineering stem cells because everyone thinks you're so smart and you're so progressive. Oh my god, use stem cells. But actually, mesenchymal stem cells, which we've been working on, you know that we can use them to treat burn wounds. You know that burn wounds are one of the main injuries people get in the war zones. We can use mesenchymal stem cells right now already to help the burn victims. Fertility. Well, war kind of does affect your fertility. It's stress. Also, a lot of people are dying. A lot of men are dying. Although we have like 30% of military personnel is women, but still, we are in a crisis because we are getting exterminated. There is a genocide against Ukrainians. There's so many we can do with that. Prosthetics. A lot of people lose their limbs because of war. A lot of you guys are into like body modification, body hacks, grinder culture. Here, so much stuff you can do because people need it, because there is not enough to fulfill the needs. because no infrastructure can be prepared for a disaster of this scale. So, talking about nature, I just Googled today, nature in Ukraine. Looks beautiful, right? Makes my heart happy to see my home. But now, it doesn't look like that. This is a city, was a city called Mariupol. This is a satellite image. Google just updated it. Before and after. The whole city is gone. This also was a city of Mariinka in Donetsk region. You can even Google it on Wikipedia. It says was a city before Russian invasion. Look at that. This is a whole building. Look at the scale. Like, this is a little building. Not little. This is actually like huge apartment complexes. So you into urbanism, sustainable cities? We need that. We need that right now. We need to look at this. Oh, this is desperate. And this is depressing to see this. But we can't just, I spent the last year thinking of how horrible all of this is and how I can't deal with this. But we have to find beauty and inspiration in things like this. I see this as a massive grave. I also see this as a new beginning that we can start. This is the mine territories. So see this. This is my home city of Dnipro, right here. This is the territories that need demining, nature rejuvenation, and many, many other things. This is just, these are not soldiers. They're just kids that were in their apartment building, far from the front lines. They need prosthetics too. It was actually hard to get a kid prosthetic. Like, it's a hard process because mostly all the infrastructure is built around making prosthetics for adults. It's pretty tough. I'm sorry if these images are disturbing, but also I'm not sorry because I have to see this every day. And I think we all need a reality check all the time. This is our military personnel, 23 years old. He lost his eyes because he was demining territory. He needs prosthetics too. Actually, there is a possibility to restore his vision with prosthetics and implants. This is a victim of burn wounds. If we can implement, for example, mesenchymal stem cells for this, make it much better because the skin grafts are not enough and pretty much you're left with a huge scars all over your body that hurt, that are not like your skin used to be. So this is QR code on how you can help Ukraine right now if you want to donate. If you have a possibility to do that, I encourage you and I thank you for that. What I want you to do is think about what you can do right now. I'm down to collaborate. Like, I can make this happen because people want to. Like, I can speak to someone in Ukraine. We can arrange that. We can make this happen because we need this. And we need this right now, not when war is over. We don't know when war will be over. We know we are making progress. We liberated 30% of the occupied territories. We're still making progress. But change, we cannot wait for change. We cannot wait for change when destruction is happening right now. And just think about it. Just think about what you can do. You have ideas? Cool. You can do something like, you know how to program, you know how to work with Arduino, like microcontrollers, you know a little bit about genetic engineering. You have a little bit of money, you have a little bit of time. Anything can contribute. And this can be an absolutely new way that never was done before. We have the power right now. We do. Even us as a biohacker community, which obviously we don't hold as much power as academia or industry. But we can't wait for someone else to step up and do something. That's why I'm standing right here and telling you this. So if you want to help out our lab, there's our Patreon. If you want to contact me and you have any ideas, you want to collaborate, there's also social media and my email. Sorry about it. Sorry about the triggers. Sorry about this. Also not sorry. Thank you.